Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Ones Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we've got a reading for you about a person that is working to let go of some of the expectations or the beliefs that they've been perhaps raised with or have been, kind of woven intricately into their experience. They're basically having to let go of the judgment or expectations of their friends and family because they have culture or beliefs that made it feel like you two were not supposed to be together. But it didn't stop them from falling for you. We've got You're My Favorite. You're the person I want to call when something good or bad happens. The first thought I have when I have news. So they're admitting you're my person. They don't want anybody else. There's definitely opinions on the matter, and they don't seem to be in your favor. But they're getting to the point where they don't see the point of living by other people's rules when it means that they would be miserable. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. Okay, I relaxed. Sorry. Hello, Bitty Tata. Hello, Upper Echelon. How are we doing? So I launched memberships today. I've got 3 different tiers. Hopefully something, resonates in terms of what you're looking for. Thank you to everyone who gave me feedback in terms of what you would like. But there is an option for you to get a monthly reading with me, which is pretty exciting. So, yay. If you would like a personal reading, my email address is in the description box below, wickedonestarot@gmail.com. Let's dive in with the cats rule the earth and see what else we have. I do think I'll put out a short that will give a little bit more information on the tiers of those memberships. Feel free to ask questions as well. I do have a post in my community section. So that would be probably a pretty natural place to ask questions, but I want to make sure that you all, feel like you get value out of it. We've got strength, temperance, and justice. That's heavy because this is all major arcana. When we have all major arcana, it makes me feel like we've got a really important moment in somebody's life. I feel because somebody's deciding to live their own life, maybe you don't really like the person I've fallen in love with, or maybe you have parameters that you feel are required for the person I spend my life with, but I'm the person who makes this decision. I feel like justice in this reading is about I've made my decision. I looked at the information and I decided that the reason you had for not liking this person that I'm in love with is BS. I still love them. Temperance is about a good match. And I think it's also about how somebody feels when they're around this love interest. They may not have felt that serenity or that sense of harmony with anybody else. So the idea of sacrificing that just to make someone else happy doesn't seem to be really worth it, and probably isn't. So we have the 6 of Swords, 2 of Swords in the reverse, and the Emperor. I'm going to make my own decision, or I have made my own decision. I know where I would be happy or what would make me happy. And it might mean that my family's mad, or it might mean that my best friend feels like I didn't take their advice. But I've got to do what I feel is right for me. So they're standing up for what they want instead of letting the opinions of others influence their direction in life. The Chariot, 10 of Cups, and the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. I don't feel like I would find somebody like this anywhere else. Nobody compares to this person. This is my 10 of Cups, my person, right? So as far as the Chariot, there's fast-moving energy or a sense of urgency. I don't want to lose the person that I'm in love with, or I don't want to spend another day apart. I've made my decision. I want to spend my life with this love interest of mine, my 10 of Cups. Eight of Wands in the reverse, King of Pentacles, and the Moon in the reverse. So there is something about not communicating your plans because there's someone you may expect to be supportive. This is a message for the Emperor, the person who is making the decision to follow their heart instead of be influenced by other opinions. If you share your plans to go towards this love interest with somebody that you believe is a friend or believe is supportive, you may be surprised to find out that that person is not a good secret keeper. I would not tell anybody your plans if you're making this great overture of love against the wishes of your friends and family. It kind of feels to me like there's someone who would rain on your parade. This is the signs of the times. Hello, Realm of Bedlam. How are you doing? Meow. What do we have? Smiley face, joy, and dice, chance, numbers 30 and 19. For some of you, this is about just very different upbringings, very different type of family, type of childhood. There could be socioeconomic differences, age differences, whatever. But this is somebody saying, I'm willing to take a chance. I'm willing to risk it because this is my happiness. This person brought me joy. And, you know, listening to your opinions about my love life isn't going to make me happy. They're not willing to let go of someone they love. Reflection, mirror, number 20. And infinity, unlimited potential, number 43. That's really beautiful. So the person who is choosing to be in a relationship is this like Emperor Chariot energy. They're moving quickly. They know the direction they want to go. They are standing up for what they want. Part of their, sorry, you guys, I totally drank some Dr. Pepper over this or before this. This Emperor is basically willing to make changes because they feel this connection or this love interest that they have is someone who makes them want to be a better person. You help me to see who I really am or help me to see the path that I'm supposed to be on. And you do it in a very effective way. You, at the same time, are there to like hold this person's hand or give them a hug, but you can also like give them the like God's honest truth. And maybe other people struggle with that. So it's like they accept that if they want to be the best version of themselves, they need to be around that positive energy that encourages, you know, maturing, development, growth, all of that. And they felt like your sunshine was the best sunshine. Let's get some more tarot, actually. This is the Santa Muerte. Hey, Voyager, how's it going? What else? Judgment in the reverse. Six of Cups and the Page of Cups. It's like somebody is treated like a child. I'm sure plenty of you have experienced difficulty in terms of that transition where I'm your child, you're my parent, you get to tell me what the rules are. I have to abide by your rules. And then, becoming a young adult, making your own decisions, creating your own life. I think this is one of those relationships where somebody is struggling to see a younger individual as an individual. If I tell you this is what I think is best for you, you should just like leap at the chance doing what I tell you is the best thing for you. Not really allowing for the fact that whoever's being judged here is an adult. They are not a child. So I guess the word would be infantilizing, right? Like I'm going to diminish the power that I feel you have over your own life because I'm not willing to accept that you are actually an adult and capable of making those decisions yourself. Santa Muerte, which would be death, by the way. Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. And is this the 9? Yeah, 9 of Pentacles in the reverse. This is a toxic connection that likes to wield control or power over the Emperor. I don't want you to be independent. I don't want you to make your own choices. I don't want you to, leave the nest. I don't want you to veer from the path that I have in mind for you. This controlling energy, probably somebody in the family, is unwilling to accept that perhaps the Emperor is their own person and may have their own designs on life, may have their own plans. Many of you, this is a parent struggling to let a child choose the direction of their own life. For some of you, this is an ex, and they feel like they can exert control over your life, perhaps because you have children together. Queen of Wands, Page of Swords, and the Hierophant in the reverse. Yeah, this is somebody who doesn't want to admit that you make your own choices. Hierophant in the reverse is like they don't believe in your maturity, your independence. Where the relationship that you have with this Queen of Wands, the person that I believe is your love interest, they build you up. So this Emperor feels like their aptitude is unlimited, right? I can do anything, unlimited potential if this Queen of Wands is around me because they believe in me. Whereas when I'm around this Santa Muerte, probably a family member who, makes me feel like I'm 5 years old and tries to make all my decisions for me, maybe even cuts up my dinner for me. Sorry, I had to. They don't believe that I can make my own decisions. They feel like they need to be like the boss of me. You're not the boss of me. Or if you're an Archer fan, you're not my supervisor. Hello, Planet Brad. How are you doing? Valid point. 5 of Cups. 10 of Cups. Ace of Wands. Sorry, 3 Wands. Be very cautious. If you are the Emperor, if you are the person headed towards your love interest, please be cautious, again, as far as your plans, because there are people who would like to share those plans or get in the way of those plans. But I do think that the reason or like the motivation behind our Santa Muerte family member who is not approving of the romantic connection and wants to get in the way of this Emperor, this Santa Muerte individual, the family member, has regrets in the past pertaining to their own relationships. This could be their own family relationships, right? I had a toxic or codependent connection with my parents, so that's the only way I know how to parent you. It could also be this 5 of Cups could be talking about a romantic connection that the Santa Muerte had in their past that they never really healed from. which makes them basically want to reject every single love interest that you consider because to them, love is just poison. It's their mental block that is motivating their lack of approval for this emperor to pursue their love interest. And it's probably controlling. So with the 10 of Cups, the reality is the emperor is in love, but the Santa Muerte or the family member, they're looking at this as you're not listening to me. You're disrespecting me. You are dishonoring the family. You are, it's like, how can I make you feel bad for this decision? It's not going to stop the action, though. Our emperor's already made their decision. I know this is my person. I don't want anybody else. I know you don't approve, but I'm not going to change. Is it doing the weird, like, moving camera thing? Oh, God. Maybe it's just because I was holding up the card. Hello, Co-Create. What's going on? Hello, Sky. Hello, Books. How are we doing? I hope you're having a good day. All right, let's see what else we've got. This is the Earth and Bone Oracle. Yep. Faith, number 14. Hope, inspiration, cooperation, rejuvenation, admittance, and allow. I feel like this energy is the positive or kind of pure, supportive Queen of Wands that has helped this Emperor see that they are capable of quite a lot if they have that loving energy around them. They feel smothered or held back. Whereas when they're with this love interest of theirs, the Queen of Wands reminds them that they are powerful, that they can create, that they can achieve great things. And it's, I think, kind of intoxicating. Number 6, surrender, letting go, trust, consideration, and expansion. So this Emperor is basically saying, I know that my friends or family may not really respect my decision or may not like this person, but the way I feel, this 10 of Cups, I feel like I belong. I feel like I'm inspired. I feel like this person supports me. They want me to be my best self. Whereas the person who's trying to tell me to live my life is like holding me back and not encouraging me. This is the Morgan Greer. Hello, Darnell. How are you doing? Hello, Alicia. How are you doing? Hello, Katie. Nice. Ace of Wands, 2 of Cups in the reverse, 3 of Pentacles. This is a romantic reading, 100%, but it's giving like full rip out bathroom remodel, take everything out. So I feel like that's what this Emperor is doing with their life. They don't want their life to just be like round 2 for Santa Muerte, right? I'm not going to live my life based on how you tell me I need to live my life. So if I need to find a different place to live, if I need to get a different job, if I need to reconsider what my community is built up of, then I will do that, because this breakup or this distance between the Queen of Wands and myself is not something that I want to tolerate anymore. They want a second chance with this Queen of Wands because they feel alive when they are with the Queen of Wands. What's up, White Rabbit? I hope you're having a good day. Hello, Kahina. How are you doing? That's right. You've got to live your own life, right? Hello, Jeffrey. How are you doing? Devil in the reverse. Ace of Cups in the reverse, and the Nine of Pentacles. I love to see the Nine of Pentacles in the upright in the same column as the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, because the Santa Muerte was trying to leverage their control or power over the Emperor and keep them from making their own decision regarding their life. That's codependent energy. That's toxic. But this Emperor is saying, no, I'm actually my own person. I am an adult. I'm going to make my own decisions. I know you're not always going to agree with them. I know that what you feel like I need to do is reject this person, but I'm starting to wonder if you think I need to reject everyone, or I'm starting to think that you just really like to keep me in a codependent situation. So this Emperor is saying no, or their absence is saying no. For some of you, this Emperor's skipping town and doesn't really want to have a conversation with the Santa Muerte individual prior to that, because they know there would be obstacles. They know the argument would probably get heated, but they have freed themselves from the, I guess, expectations levied upon them by this Santa Muerte. They may have been slowly addressing all of those kind of codependent behaviors over time, and perhaps the love department is one of those last things. Like, no, I'm actually totally capable of making my own decisions regarding that. So, thanks. I do not. What's up, dude? How are you doing? Empress, the Sun, the Magician. That is so beautiful. So most notably, we have across the sea of tarot cards at literally the exact opposite ends, because I'm not going to do another row, the Empress and the Emperor. These are divine counterparts. I believe, put this in the playlist for Divine Connection. These two balance each other out splendidly. The Queen of Wands is the Empress. This is somebody who knows how to build, create. They could be a parent, but this is loving energy, somebody who has gone through spiritual awakenings, I think more than one. And again, with the Sun, this is happy energy. They lift up this Emperor with them. They don't seek to control the Emperor. They make the Emperor, I guess, kind of like remember just how powerful or amazing or talented they are, when they've been so accustomed to somebody basically telling them you can't do that, or that's not for you, or this is how you need to do that. It's kind of, I think, taken them a while to believe that somebody might just want to see them do well, you know? Don't worry, I had a cookie, girl dinner. Actually, I think it was cute. Ten of Cups again. This is so much love. We had the Ten of Cups from all three of these. Ten of Cups, Four of Cups, and the World. I'm not going to reject love for your benefit or because it doesn't match your expectations anymore. And don't worry, dude. I know that was a joke, but I am actually worried stomach growls are like too much a part of my act, you know? This is the Ghost Tarot. I think that's good. Temperance, the Sun in the reverse, and the Ace of Pentacles. We had Temperance at the beginning. Again, I feel there's a very deep spiritual connection between the Emperor and the Empress, which is, remember, also the Queen of Wands. It's not easy to forget and being apart has been painful. But with this Ace of Pentacles, I feel like this is an opportunity from the universe, or it's just like the right time for these two to be able to be together. Nine of Wands in the reverse. Ace of Wands. And the Eight of Swords. So the Emperor is choosing to, I don't know, hop on a bus, drive, hop on a plane. They're headed towards this Empress. There's obviously distance here of some sort. It could just be, you know, it's not really that great a physical distance, but it feels like forever because this Santa Muerte is literally in the path, right? There are obstacles, but this Emperor sets out. And I feel like there's a chance that for many of you, they get followed or somebody's trying to get in the way of this Emperor. But the universe is like, what can we do about this? What can we do to make sure that the Santa Muerte person doesn't get in the way of true love? They're determined to make sure that this Emperor has a clear path, but not necessarily concerned about whether or not that path is cleared for the Santa Muerte individual. Three of Cups in the reverse. Page of Swords and the Magician. It feels like we've got somebody either like giving the wrong direction, saying, yeah, I saw them go that way when you really went that way. Or there's something on your social media. Or there's somebody who says, sorry, this, you know, the road is temporarily closed. You're going to have to go this way. There is some action here that results in the Santa Muerte not being able to follow or not being able to go intervene or have like a conversation. The Emperor is basically free to go. They're able to do what they need to do. Their family member can't stop them. Hello, Carol. How are you doing? Yeah, jealousy doesn't really ever seem to be a good use of energy. Page of Pentacles and the Two of Wands in the reverse. Your new beginning, Emperor, is supposed to happen. The individuals from your family, or specifically, you know, Santa Muerte individual, they're not going to be successful in trying to like deter you because you're supposed to be doing this. So like the universe is on your side, basically. I'm good, thank you. Admittedly a little bit hungry, but we're gonna make it. What else do we have? We've got Trapped and Only You. Stuck, tied down, captive, and Only You says devoted, attached, and crave. They had to free themselves. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's not fun when you walk into a spider web, you know, a little itchy, get stuck on your clothes or in your hair. But it doesn't keep you stuck, at least, you know. Spider-Man movies, you know, to the side. This is somebody who had to acknowledge they had their own power. They had the ability to stand up to this family that wanted to tell them how to live their life. So they have freed themselves from this. That's what the Eight of Swords is about, right? Feeling like you can't walk away because they can't imagine letting you get out of, you know, their orbit. They want you in their life. So you might have been the only force, like gravitational pull, that could have like stolen them away from this orbit. And I do think that you have an understanding of this emperor that nobody else has really managed. You make them feel seen. You help them to see the possibilities in front of them, believe in their skills or their talents. Um, there's a lot of magic. That's why we had the magician come out twice. And it's all because of how that energy between the two of you impacts, I think, the way they view themselves. Confusion, uncertain, unclear, unsure. The concern here is if they've been dealing with this family situation and not necessarily being able to communicate with you, you may have no idea what's going on. You may feel like this person's moving on. They're a little bit concerned in terms of finally getting to have that conversation with you. How's that going to go? You know? Peace, balance, harmony, and friendship. Fantasy, daydreaming, imagining, and fantasize. They have experienced enough of the chaos and the drama because of these codependent relationships or this family that maybe has a toxic approach to love. When they were able to deal with you, I mean, obviously this is kind of soothing to look at, right? Those flowers. It's like your energy is a whole different world. They didn't want to go back to their own world. And they're starting to wonder if all the time that they spent pretending like maybe they could be with you or imagining what would be if they could actually be with you, they're starting to feel like it doesn't have to be a dream. I don't have to just let it be one of those things that I wish had happened. I could actually, like, I don't know, go get my person, choose them. So they're feeling more capable than they did before. This is the situations deck. What else? Crushed, sad, broken, feeling alone. And poison, toxic, unhealthy behaviors, and people. I think this would be our Santa Muerte or like family individual. They want to do something to communicate with this emperor, maybe to like check and make sure this person isn't going after their love interest. And they feel crushed or betrayed because their directions, their rules, their opinions were not the most important thing to the emperor anymore. Lost, ghosted, blocked, cut off. So our Santa Muerte individual, the family member, is about to realize that they have lost their grip on the emperor. Even if this is, you know, their child, now we have an emperor that's making their own decisions, and they may have started by cutting communication with the Santa Muerte. If you're not going to let me live my life, then I'm not going to like give you opportunities to judge me unfairly because I know you're not going to like this, but I'm choosing the person that I love. I'm not going to walk away from love just because, you know, you're still hurt over something from your past. I do feel like this family member was trying to get the emperor to look at this deep love connection as just something that was physical or, you know, you'll forget about him. It's not serious. You just think it is. They were minimizing it. You don't know what love is, that kind of thing. So we have come together, reconciliation, spiritual union, soul contract. There's a reconciliation that's going to happen. The Santa Muerte family member, they might have been able to delay it or influence this emperor to consider walking away. but they have chosen they want to reconcile with this Empress. They're going to do what it takes to see them, because this is the happiest they've ever been. They can't imagine living life never being that happy again. This is the untold messages of the heart. Hello, Maddie. How's it going? What else do we have? You're the missing puzzle piece that makes me feel that I'm right where I belong. You feel like home for them. It says home at the top. So much has happened between us in the past. Can we work through it again? They would like to have a very transparent conversation so that you can understand what was going on from their perspective. They do feel like they should have communicated better, and they're hoping they have that opportunity now. Forbidden, even though we shouldn't, I still want you. Their concern is they're going to pursue you and you might be in a relationship. I'm unavailable. They do feel like there's somebody else who is serious about you. But for them, you're the only one. You're the one, the only one. We also had only you come out. So they're very serious about this Empress. But they feel like there's somebody else who may have approached the Empress in the Emperor's absence. The damage has already been done, and I don't know how to pick the pieces up. I didn't know what I had until you were gone. Lesson learned. You deserve the best, and I respect you. I want to do the right thing. So I think the approach here from the Emperor, don't get too caught up on gender, right? This could be anyone. They want to basically have this honest conversation with you. And it's something I think you may have asked for before, but they did not do. They're going to give it to you straight. This is exactly what happened. This is what this person said. They told me I shouldn't be with you. They're going to just be honest, lay it all out on the table and see how you respond and hope that you're not in a relationship. But if there's a chance to put back together what has been broken, they will do whatever it takes. They don't know how you feel about it. They don't know if that's what you're also hoping to achieve. All right, let's get a few from the Overthinkers Oracle. What else do we have? So there could be some financial difficulties that they've been going through, and this could have been one of those things that made it a bit unrealistic for them to pursue you sooner, especially if there were some ties to the family that impacted their finances, such as working for the family business or, renting from the family. But trying to actually date some of the people or pursue the connections that would have been approved by the Santa Muerte, if there were any, 2s and 3s, but you're the one. The grass was greener because it was fake. I didn't have to water it. If I had chosen you over my family from the very beginning, it would have been a lot of work, and that scared me. So I chose to just go along with what was expected of me, and that didn't make me happy. They've learned their lesson, right? Lesson learned. I didn't know what I had until it was gone. So it's always good to leverage protection, people. This is not going to be for everyone. Remember, it's a general reading. I feel like most of you would already know what's going on with that, or they're going to tell you. There is a very passionate connection between the Emperor and the Empress, deep physical or sexual attraction or desire. but they don't know if that's going to be something they get to experience again. They do feel like you might have really moved on, that you might have, I don't know, gone on dates or been romanced by someone who was really impressive. New divine connection coming soon. They know that you're not just going to be chilling forever, that there are going to be people who probably pursue you as much as they should have. Hello, Jack. How are you doing? What else do we have? Yeah, that's a good idea. A very good idea. They're plotting and scheming a way to get you to love them again. And it's getting more concerning because of this possibility of somebody new in your life. Sex magic. I feel like this could be, for some of you, the Emperor, and could be the karmics. Because the codependent energy is not just a family member. There could have been multiple sources within the community where people were trying to keep this Emperor stuck, even if they were unknowingly trying to achieve the same thing. This person had to fight through a couple of different, couple different people's expectations. This time, I promise you, my actions will match my words. And we've got marriage proposal. They want you to be theirs. They want it to be official. They want to move in. I was wondering if that would come back out. So for many of you, this is a false twin flame that got you feeling like you were unable to pursue the relationship that you really wanted. And that's part of what the Emperor needed to walk away from, or kind of like not stay trapped by. I still feel like there's family expectations here. There could also be some concern from the Empress that the Emperor is a false twin flame. But this is why we have intuition. This is why we have discernment. And this is also why I will tell you, in general, I think it's a real bad idea to ever be like, hey, how's it going? Did you know that you're my twin flame? Yeah, you're stuck with me. Don't do that. Please don't tell people I think you're my twin flame. You can have opinions. I respect that. I think most of the time, if not all the time, when people say I think you're my twin flame, it is manipulative. The twin flame journey is not about claiming a person. It is about reclaiming your own power to be able to love and love yourself, and not sacrifice yourself for somebody who has not done the healing work. So just be cautious about that. With the false twin flame card, I always get a little bit nervous that we've got somebody who might be kind of stuck on a situation. That being said, we do have the Emperor and the Empress. These, in general, are pretty healed energies. Hello, A Savage 91. How are you doing? A long time ago, I used to live near a town called that. Thankfully, not actually in it, because I don't know, man. Everything was like, yeah. Anyways, there was a cool abandoned gas station over there, though. Yay, the Nine of Pentacles. This is good. So if you recall, at the beginning, we had the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, that codependent energy. Family, friends, possibly exes, people trying to keep this Emperor stuck, living by expectations placed upon them that didn't necessarily align with how they want to live their life. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. Oh, I love you too. Hello, Jenny. How are you doing? So this Nine of Pentacles means we've got someone listening to their intuition. We've got somebody who is wanting to live life the way it makes sense for them to live it. Ace of Wands in the reverse, because they're nervous that they have missed an opportunity with somebody that they are absolutely in love with. And they're, again, willing to do whatever it takes to pursue this person. Remember, it's a general reading, so you'll have to figure out where you reside within this message and whether or not you're dealing with somebody who's being genuine. But I do feel like there's a very deep connection. Four of Pentacles in the reverse. Two of Swords in the reverse. Eight of Wands. So letting go of the preconceived expectations or the the life script. This is how I have to live my life. This is what is expected of me. That could absolutely align with beliefs, like religious beliefs from family. It could also be tied to that false twin flame. I thought this was my person, so I was willing to go through a lot. Or, they convinced me that I had to deal with, this codependent energy or this manipulative energy because I was supposed to be like their soulmate. But now I'm realizing that I actually am free to go. I can take action towards what would make me happy, and I don't have to listen to what everybody else tells me I have to do. Hello, Pharaoh. How are you doing? Ace of Cups, Five of Cups in the reverse, and the Five of Swords. So we have a love that is blossoming because of a decision to be independent, live your own life, not let the beautiful things that you are blessed with pass you by because there is somebody that wants to sabotage them. So the Santa Muerte individual, the family member most likely, is realizing they probably can't actually keep these two apart, that they probably can't control or keep this Emperor codependent. They are off on their own, doing what they want to. Lovers in the reverse. Judgment and Star. I think for many of you, this family member or Santa Muerte was trying to make it so that the Emperor never made a decision or made the decision to let this go and not pursue you. But with Judgment, this is literally kittens getting out of coffins. They're coming back to life. What the Santa Muerte thought was going to be put to, the past and forgotten about, the Emperor refuses to forget about them, and they want a reconciliation. They want to heal what has been broken. All right. This is the Everyday Tarot. So what advice do we have? Ace of Swords. High Priestess. Don't let other people's opinions prevent you from speaking your truth. Don't let people who want to keep you in a codependent situation decide how your life goes. I mean, this is advice I think the Emperor's already taken. But I think the most important part is the Emperor needs to be secretive or move in silence and not let people know what their plans are if they don't want friends or family members who don't support this to, if they don't want them to get in the way. Then just, this is a surprise party. You don't have to tell anybody. Queen of Swords in the reverse, Page of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, I feel like the biggest thing here is do not tell people what your plans are if you think there's any chance that they could spoil it. Because they would. Four of Cups, Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Eight of Pentacles. After a rejection or emotional distance, we have the Emperor explaining the situation, walking away from this Queen of Pentacles, somebody who may have been financially abusive or trying to keep them in a codependent living situation. Our Emperor has done the work that they needed to, even though it was at the beginning, I think, quite intimidating for them to think about. Like, I don't know if I could handle all that. They have not given up. That Nine of Wands in the reverse was, I will do what it takes. Hello, Deborah. How are you doing? Did I say hello to Johnny? By the way, thank you, Johnny, for the emojis. They won't let me add all of them, at least not at the beginning. All right. I love you all. I'm going to go eat some food. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you on the next reading. Doodles.